The title of my talk is You Are Held. And please know, my loves, that you are always held. You are always held in the love of the Most High, especially this week. The Supreme Court leak this week about overturning Roe v. Wade felt like something out of the Dark Ages. All over this country and all over the world, so many of us, women, men, people, have felt as if we were tossed into a desert with no water. I have to name it. It has felt for so many of us that we have been thrown into the wilderness, if you will. I realized that for me, I needed to get very quiet. I needed to feel all of it, my fear, my outrage, my numbness over this, and then remember my faith and go back again. And so what I want to do right now is I want to start right off the bat to establish some deep safety in this sanctuary and for all of you at home and those listening, because I am well aware of the millions of women, girls, and people who are not feeling safe right now. In my work, I have sat with countless people who needed to process the termination of a pregnancy for every single reason you can think of. And I want to say that if the news from this week triggered any of you in any way, and I extend this to men and partners who have participated in this decision as well, I want you to know that you are held. You are held in the sacred love of this day. You are held in the sacred love of the Most High. Now, while the wilderness is a hard place to be in, and it does feel as though we're in this wilderness right now, in this moment of time, thank you, Supreme Court, it is in this wilderness place, my friends, where profound growth happens. And it is precisely in this place where the deepest transformation takes place. And this is what I claim for all of us and for our country. It was in this wilderness that Moses saw the burning bush. It was in this wilderness journey that Jesus took into the Garden of Gethsemane with him, where he got clarity. And it was in his wilderness journey that the Buddha received enlightenment. And it is in the wilderness place of this time that we as a human family will discover our own enlightenment, where the requirement of human dignity, bodily autonomy, and the unshakable respect for women will not only be the law of the land, but the way of all people everywhere. This is our birthright. So as we move through this wilderness time, as so many of our ancestors have moved through it before us, remember, friends, that we are all held in the love of the Most High. Really, what I am talking about today is the power of love, is the power of God or Spirit to heal this through us as us. Remembering that we are the divine manifestations of Spirit right here on earth, here to do this holy, sacred work, to uplift and better humanity and the lives of our sisters, brothers, and siblings all over the world. We have an opportunity right now, my friends, to reimagine and reorganize our world, the way we see it, and the way we see women in it. And this will require self-care. Please remember that. Sejal Shah wrote, "Your wilderness is not permanent." Your wilderness is not permanent. Whatever personal wilderness journey you may be experiencing right now in your own life today, whatever that may be for you, I want to remind you that it is not permanent. Just like the journeys of Moses and Jesus and Buddha, just like their journeys remind us that enlightenment and peace are available to us just on the other side of this wilderness time. You know, I have to say, I thought that the past 2 years threw me a few curveballs. I never thought I would be talking about a woman's right to choose in a Mother's Day talk. But I have come to realize that this is the best talk to talk about this subject. Yes. Do you know that the very first Mother's Day back in 1858 was intended to reimagine and reorganize their world? Way back then, Mother's Day, the first Mother's Day, was a call for social justice. Mother's Day was originally a response to war and violence. It was originally a call to action by all women everywhere to stop war. And now here we are in 2022, and I believe it is still very much a call to stop war. Not only war in the world, but on this Mother's Day, it is a call to stop the war on our bodies. And so, you know, I have to tell you, when things get really hard, people always ask me, where is God in this? And for me, I have learned over the years that I have to get really quiet when things get really hard so that I can get really clear on where Spirit or God is in this. And as I got quiet this week to find God in this, there was one woman that kept coming up for me in my meditation and in my prayer. She kept coming. And you know, I spoke about her way back in the beginning of 2020. Now, you all know over the years, I have spoken about a lot of people. I share stories about a lot of people. But this one woman kept coming to me all week. It was like a divine reminder. Her name is Breonna Newsome. On the morning of June 27th, 2015, 30-year-old Breonna Newsome, a black woman artist and activist, did something almost unthinkable. Wearing a helmet and a harness, she ascended a 30-foot flagpole and stood outside South Carolina's state capitol building and bravely removed in 2015 the Confederate flag that still hung there, that symbol of hatred and racism and slavery and white supremacy. That same flag flew when her fourth great-grandparents were enslaved in that very state. But here's the thing. When Miss Newsome made it to the top of that flagpole, as she tore down that flag, she said, "In the name of God, this flag comes down today." Breonna Newsome tore off that symbol of cruelty, and then, on her way down that flagpole, she said the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father, the entire time. Breonna Newsome was praying while she was courageously doing her part to dismantle the oppressor. That is why she kept coming to me when I got quiet. She was reminding me of God and Spirit in all of this. It is so easy to be bitter. It is so tempting to just be angry. It is so seductive to stay in the us and them frame of mind, or to just not climb the flagpole at all. In the name of God, this flag comes down today. The courage that must have taken her. When she made it back down the flagpole, she was arrested. But the video of what she did went viral. She was released from jail, and that flag was permanently removed from the South Carolina state capitol. Prior to that day, between 1865 and 2015, only 5 Confederate flags and monuments had been removed. After Breonna Newsome bravely, courageously, and prayerfully brought public awareness to it, since 2015, 150 Confederate flags and monuments have now been removed. Yes, there's many more, many more. But talk about putting love to your feet. Talk about praying while moving our feet, while climbing the next mountain that is before us. Friends, Breonna Newsome reminded me this week, in her bravery and in her courage, that love does win. That as we stay the course in every area of social justice that is calling for it, because, make no mistake, they are all connected. Oppression by one group of people intersects with every other group of people. You cannot have a group of people hurt or hurting over here and have it not impact in some way a group of people over here. Why? Because we are all connected on the seen and unseen sides of life. We all come from God. We are all stardust. We all have the divine manifestation, the center of light that we just saw in beautiful baby Shiloh at the center of us. There is no separation. We like to think there is. It's far more comfortable, isn't it? It's far more comfortable to think, oh, that's happening to them over there. Oh, that doesn't impact me at all. Everything is connected to everything. Quantum physics, science teaches us this now. In God, all things are possible, just as in God, all things, all people, all situations are connected. And love, my friends, is the inner power that every one of us has. And speaking of love and inspiration on this day, I want to share with you another powerful woman that we can all learn from. Her name is Grace Lee Boggs. And while she did not have children in her lifetime, she could easily be regarded as a key mother figure in the Asian American movement. She was a human rights activist for 7 decades. And the flags that she worked to dismantle in her life were many, many. Her beloved husband passed when she was 78 years old. Oh, he's calling to say hello. Shortly after his death, Grace Lee Boggs wrote that it was time for her to reinvent herself at 78. Hard to believe, but in her 8th decade of life, her activism grew even more. At 90, she began writing a weekly column in the Detroit area newspaper about social justice and social activism. This hero of activism and human rights lived to be 100 years old. Grace Lee Boggs wrote, "Love isn't about what we did yesterday. It's about what we do today and tomorrow and the day after." Love isn't about what we did yesterday. It's about what we do today and tomorrow and the day after. My friends, I invite you to take in this wisdom, to love as we move forward, to love, and to consciously see the extraordinary beauty in this world as we move forward. On this Mother's Day in particular, I want to remind us all of the healing and nurturing power of this beauty, of this love. To mother anything is to nurture it, to provide nourishment. And whether or not you're a mother, whatever your gender may be, we all know what it is to nourish another human being. We all share that experience. And we have an opportunity today to remember what happens when we nourish, when we care for the things that matter. Because the nurturing of things, the caring of them, makes them flourish. And when we nourish something, we see even more clearly the beauty in it, the care and nurturing of ourselves, the care and nurturing of our babies, of our children, the care and nurturing of our people, the care and nurturing of our earth, and the care and nurturing of our democracy will make it flourish. I ask you, what in your own life today could you care and nurture more? What in your own life could you love more? Who could you love more? My own mother is the most nurturing human being I have ever known. She truly is. She's also the strongest. She's smart as a whip, smartest human being I've ever known. She speaks her truth while she's nurturing you. It's an incredible, incredible gift. It is her ability to be nurturing, to choose love, especially when it is hard. I promise you, that has gotten me to this place in my life. And she is here today. I'm delighted to share. My mama, Peggy, is right here from California. My dad, Bob. I want to say in front of this beloved community, thank you from the bottom of my heart for nurturing me to this place. God bless you. God bless you. So we all have an opportunity. We all have an opportunity to pray as we move our feet. We have an opportunity, my loves, to hold to the good, to remember that we are held, and that this wilderness, whatever wilderness you may personally be in, and the wilderness that we find our government and our country in at the moment, it is temporary. Let us together see the beauty in the world. Let us put love to our feet, and let us nourish ourselves.